Hello, welcome to part 5 of our USS Reuben James 1350th Scale Academy ship build. And here we are. And in the last part, I was up to where I was going to put on some missing pieces in here now that we've done most of the photo etch railing around the upper deck here. So I'm just putting a couple of pieces like this on that goes on the other side. This one in here that's not glued yet, that's going to be put on. There's another piece to go there. It's just these little bits and pieces I'm going through and I'm just crossing them off as I go. Still have not done these yet. We'll be doing them shortly. I just want to get all these bits on, which we're almost there. We've only got about 3 or 4 to go. And we've also got a couple little bit more pieces down here to do as well, as including this part here. Okay, so if you haven't already, please hit that subscribe button. It's free to do that. You can also join and become a member if you want. And also give us a thumbs up if you like the video, and your comments are welcome below. So, like I say, I'm going to just put these little parts on. All I'm gluing them on with is just the Revell contactor. That's all they need. And I'll come back when I've got a few more done, and then we'll progress on to the next part. Okay, be back in a second. Okay, back again. We're just going to have a look at an update where we're at here. So, and a bit of a tip as well. This part here we've just done. This is the last of all those parts on the top that I have to do from that step. Okay, now this has these little pieces. There's 12 of them around the outside there. And there's a door I've still got to put on there. There is a correct way to put these on. They're slightly thinner at the top than they are at the bottom. So you want to put the thicker part at the bottom, just so that, and make sure they're all exactly the same way around. And then nothing will look uneven. And then that will just be placed on top of there. Now the top of this is flat black. Okay. Here it is here, number 4. Okay, but it's showing here as these louvers here, which I think they are like in vents. They're also black. I'm not sure if I'll do them black yet, or whether part of the wash I can darken them a little bit, but I'll get some verifications. I'm also going to confirm that that was black as well. But it looks like it was. This does look like the actual smokestack. Even though it seems very low, but I'll get some clarification on that as well. All right, so just be aware that those 12 little vents, I think they are, or filters around the outside, there is a thicker at the bottom, thinner towards the top. Okay, and they will go on there. Now I'm going to paint that with a brush. That'll be no problem, so the whole thing will be done grey, and I'll come back with a brush and do this in the flat black. Okay, all right, I'll get this on and then we'll come back and see where we're up to. Okay, so there it is on. All the top there is done at that point. All right, up into all this here. All these subsections are all on and done. The only thing that isn't are these, which means we go back from step 9. We have to go back as far as step 6 now. You can see there. So we're going to start on this, and then we need to do all these as well. So let's start with step 6 and get some parts off for that. And then once these subsections are all together, they can all go on the ship at the same time. So I'll be able to move this out of my way a bit and get my work area, and we'll just start working on these. And as far as I can tell, there's a couple little bits that might need painting, but overall, yeah, most of it's all, like everything there is all going to be the grey. There's a few number 4s there, which I think are matte black as well, and the whites, a couple of bits of white in number 2. We'll get to that when we get there. All right, so yeah, I'll be back in a sec with a bit more progress on that. Okay, so let's have a look what I've got done here. This part here, I've put this together. Okay, and that is in step 6. That is all these parts here. Now, when I glued them all on, they went on perfect, no gaps, everything's just fine. But just make sure that you position it where it's going to go on the top there. And when you know that you got that all straight and it's exactly as it should be. And that fits beautifully. Now rather than go on and continue on with adding some other parts onto this, we've got some photo etch to do on here. So going to our other sheet here, move that up there. Okay, so we're on to here now. Okay, all this part is this. So as usual, we've got the diagram here, we've got the parts, and we've got the pictures of what it looks like when they're on. And it's good that they've shown both sides so we can get a good idea. One thing I have noticed is that there's a ladder or a stairway there. You see that? So what that means is that I'm not 100% sure, I think that is replacing this. All right. At this point, I'm fairly sure that that is going in the same place where the photo etch one is. So we probably won't be putting that together and gluing that on. We'll be using the photo etch. But we'll let you know when we get on with it. All right. So yeah, I'm going to get some of these pieces of photo etch and we're going to have to start bending them and putting them on here in place. What I'm going to do is, to make sure this doesn't move around, I'll do what I usually do with my blue tack, is I'll get probably a bit more than that, but basically you just stick that there and then it's easy to work on a surface without it moving. All right, so yeah, let me get onto our photo etch, which we've got here, and there is still quite a bit on there. It's amazing how much this goes, how much is here. But yeah, we'll get on to that and get some of these on, because we also got, there's like a bit of a tower there as well, and some round circular parts that need to go on here. So again, we're going to have to be checking to make sure that we have enough clearance so that the plastic parts like these, which will not interfere and come in contact with anything. Okay, all right, I'll be back again in a minute. Okay, another tip coming up. Let's have a look at this. First of all, I want to just show you, I've got the railing going all the way around on there now. Just get that off the blue tack. There we go. That's gone on really well. What I did was I did half of it. I glued half of it down, and then I came along with my tweezers and just slowly bent the pieces around and did the other half. That was the easiest way to do that one. Now, the other piece, which you probably can't see, but it is right there in front of us, is here. These are the circular pieces that sit on top of here. I'm using the layout on the instructions here. So what I'm doing is I'm slowly, move this over here a bit more. Okay, so I've slowly bent this piece to match on there like that. We'll have to glue the two ends together, but I have test fitted it and it will go on top of there perfectly like that. All right, and then there's another one there. We'll just rinse and repeat for number 18. So this is the piece number 19, this is piece number 18. All good. All right, so yeah, I will keep going. Now inside the center of those there is some plastic parts, I think. Just trying to check where we're at, or is that actually clear? I think that's clear. I don't think there's anything going in the center of there, but it's the right size, so it has to fit, right? Okay, I'll move on and do a little bit more. We'll be back in a sec. All right, so now I've almost got this done. Just a couple more pieces to go, but I just wanted to let you know, show you these aerials here, or antennas. See how far they stick up off the top of that. All right, and I'm thinking if I glue them on, they're going to break. Oh, I'm going to knock them off for sure at some point. So what I'll do is I'll take them off and I'll put them away where my what have we got in there? The rudder, is it? The props in there. Okay, the screw. Get that right. So I'm going to put it in there because that's just too risky. There we go. I'll put them in here. Make a note of that. So I don't want to lose them. All right. So that's good. So now all I need to do is, all those parts are done. We've got to put these parts here together. Oh, and the ladder. We're not going to do the ladder because I put the photo etched ladder, if you can see it. See it there? Yeah. So we can cross that one off. So it's just this part here. And then we move over and it's not finished yet. there's still a bit to go. All right. Back again shortly. Okay. So I finally finished this piece. Boy, there's some fiddly little parts on there, especially on the back here. There's these two parts. I don't know what they are there, but there's two of them, one on each side at the back there, and the picture's just not clear. It doesn't really show you how they attach where they're going there. I've got them on there, but they just don't look 100%. Well, again, I'll find out and see if that's all right or not. But I don't know. It doesn't look right to me. But there you go. Blue tack's holding it down, so it's not going to fall. So there we go. All the photo etch is on. All the parts are on. The aerials are put aside so I don't break them. And yeah, I'm just going to put that away in a little container, like something like that, so it's not going to get any damaged, and go to work on the next part, which will be, obviously that's part 6. I can actually cross that off, I think. Yeah, there's nothing that need. Oh yeah, the paint. I think the top of that's got to be done white. Not 100% sure, but I think so. But anyway, that's pretty much done. So now we got to go over and we got to work on this. Looks like the mast and a radar unit at the top. This looks scary. This looks really complicated. Yeah, this does too. I'm not just the plastic, the photo etch side of it is what looks difficult. But what the hell, should be right. So yeah, that's all this area here. We've got to get all those parts on. So if I get it looking like that when it's done, then that'll be pretty good. I'll be happy. We'll see how it goes. All right, so I'll get some more stuff here. I'll get my things organized and we'll be back shortly again. Okay, so here we are working on the tower which is the support for the radar, which is this step 7. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to do the plastic parts before I go do the photo etch. Mainly because I'm pretty nervous about building this thing. So this, I'm putting this together now, which is here. We've got the 4 sides to it. So I've just got my blue tack there holding that in place, and I've just tested the way they're going to go on. I've made sure they're sanded down properly where the nubs are, where it was taken off the sprue. Make sure it's all nice and smooth. And then that'll go together square, and that will go on the top. And then all we need on that will be, there is a bit of photo etch, and I'll show you that on here. So that's the piece of photo etch that's going to go around the base. And then, of course, all this part here needs to be folded and put together, which has a lot here. So I guess that's showing it going together bit by bit, and these are the parts I need. So it doesn't look too bad. We'll see. But I'm going to get that together. Then what I'll do is probably go and work on this section here, which is, I guess that's the mast, you would call that. So I need to get all those bits of plastic off. And as for photo etch on this, I don't think there is. Oh, yes, of course there is. The platform here. This has all photo etch and quite intricate as well, because when we go back and look at it here, that's this part here. So there's all the railings. They're going to go all the way around the top section of the mast there. So that's going to be pretty detailed stuff. We've got to make sure we get all that nice and straight, work on it slowly. And it'll be good because I'm feeling positive and I'm confident that everything will be okay. So let me get on to that, and we're just going to have a quick look over the page. Always pays to have a look ahead. So we've already gone and done all that. And then there's just a few little pieces on here that haven't been done yet. I'm not sure what they are, but they're going to go on there. Some of those were put on the back, on the stern of the ship when I was doing that rear railing, but there's still three more pieces that haven't got finished on that. They go on, but even that's after. So we've pretty much, as soon as I've built these parts, that's already completed. We've done that. That's already on. There it is there. That's the smokestack. And it's just these two here that we're working on now. Everything else is on there. All right, so I'm going to shut up now, get some done, and we'll come back when a bit more progress is done. All right, I'll be back in a second for you guys. For me, a little bit longer. All right, so made a lot of progress at the moment. As you can see, I've done all the railings that go up on this tower. Okay, now they're very tricky, and I actually broke one piece you can see there. Well, I don't know if it was already broken on the sprue or not, but when I started to cut it, it just came apart so easily. So again, make sure you've got a real sharp knife, fresh blade, so you're putting as little pressure on the metal as you're cutting it off from the edge, from the sprue. Okay, so what I've done now is I've done all of this section here, the railings for the top of that, and that we've done before. So that's that. Now this part, just I have to remember here, I can't glue that on yet because this actually slides through the, what can I call that? The tower. So I haven't put that together yet. But once I put that together, which is this part here, you have to slide it through the scaffolding there. And I'm fairly certain it's not going to fit if I put the railing on there now. So that will need to get fitted first, and then I can attach the railing. This part here with the 4 pieces of railing, it's fine. It just pops down on the top of this, and then there's an aerial, what would you call that? A long post on the top. So there's nothing getting in the way of that. So I'll be able to do that. So yeah, but all that photo etch is done. It's all ready to be glued as it goes together. What I'm going to do now is let me see. It's strange here because they've got this part down here, section D, they're calling it, but then it's referring back to an area you've already done. I guess this is just to show the angles and how straight everything is. Sorry, you can't see. You see? So I'm guessing that this all going together, this is just showing the view straight on so you can see the proper angles and the way everything's sitting. All right. So we'll see how that goes. But for the moment, I'm probably going to put all these together, which is that, because that's just going straight on top. So that'll be fine. So I can attach the photo etch. I can glue that all onto there and then put all those plastic parts, antennas and so forth on that and finish that piece off. Obviously, I'm going to put that together now as well so we can see how that's looking for there. And it's slowly going to come together. All right, I haven't tackled this yet, which is this. This is scary. This is scaring me. But yeah, that'll be the next bit of photo etch I'll be putting together. Okay, so there you go. As you see, pieces are coming along. Quite good little bits of detail here. I think it's going to look really, really nice. Okay, all right, I shall return. Okay, welcome back. So a little bit more progress has happened. This tower I've put together. I've just put it on the top to just test fit it so that it fits in the location points and that everything is square and it's all good. So I'll just carefully pop that back off and we can have a look at it there. So there it is there, and glued together fine. No problems with that at all. I'm just looking at it now and I realise that that needs to come out a bit to there. There we go. I'm glad I saw that. Just wasn't sitting in there exactly where it should. I'm just going to touch that up a bit with, we'll weld it with this bit of cement. It's just going to go on there and there. And hold that for a moment. Sorry, I'm off camera. There we go. Yeah, there was one bit there that just wasn't sitting in place properly, and when I looked it wasn't quite square, but now it's going to be fine. There we go. Alright, and I'll put it back on just to check again, and it sits in there, and that's good. Alright, now I'm happy that the two photo etch railings on either side of there are good too, because that could have been a problem. Yeah, that's it there. Alright, so now I'm going to let that dry for a bit more. I've only done that in the last 5 minutes, and what we need to do is, going by the instructions here, is we put that together now. That's all done, and we need to get this piece down on the top of there. There's a little piece to get put together that goes in there. It's a bit of a support in there. It looks like there's a bit of a light on there, and then there's some more supports to go around after. We can do that after I've got all this on. Okay, now this is the piece that has the photo etch that needs to be glued after it's fitted, because it needs to slide through the scaffolding there, and it won't do that obviously if the railings are on. So I think the best thing might be to put that in now. I think I'll try and put that in first, see how that fits, and once that's in place then I can put the photo etch on, because it's going to be a lot easier to put the photo etch on that before I put this down on the top. It's just going to give me a bit more room to work. Alright, so yeah, that'll be the plan. So I'll do that. I'll come back and let you know how it went. We'll get this piece into here. Alright, just got to go grab a cup of coffee while I let that dry. Okay, we'll be back in again in a sec. Okay, so I've come across an error. Okay, and yeah, they've obviously made a mistake in the instructions, so we'll have a look here first. Okay, so on here what they're asking is we need to put that through the scaffolding there. Okay, and whether you put it together first or after, it won't make any difference. This piece won't fit through there with that piece sticking out of the top of it, which is part of the piece. It's not something I added. Okay, sorry it's not focused too good. There we go, it's a bit better there. Okay, with that on there it won't slide in there. Okay, I'll show you here on the piece. So what we need, it's asking is for this to go in there, and it won't, because there is a tiny piece, there is a piece of the scaffold frame strut there going across that's stopping that from getting through. It's also on the other side here, which wouldn't so much stop it going through that side, alright, because I could tilt it down and probably clear that. So I've got two options here. The width is fine, it will slide in there, that's no problem, and fit where those positioning marks are there. Okay, it will fit in there. Let me just get down focus so you can see. Alright, so the options are, I can either cut that off and then glue it back on, or cut this strut off so it'll go in there. I think I'm going to go that way. I'm going to cut that strut off. Maybe I can put it back on once this is fitted, otherwise I'll just leave it off. We'll see how it looks. The one on the other side I don't think I'll have to, because there's more clearance below, because it hasn't got the ladder on that side. You see, the ladder's only on that side. So yeah, but yeah, it's definitely hitting that. If that wasn't there, it'd be all fine. In the instructions it's putting it through there, and it's not telling you need to cut anything off. And yeah, so just be aware of that. If you're building this ship, you're going to have a problem. So let's see how we go if I cut that off, and we'll see how that slides in. Okay, I'll be back in a sec. Okay, so there it is. It's in the right position. It's not glued yet, but that's where you want it to be. Okay. Now I did have to take out the strut on the other side as well. So, and I'm going to leave them off. It's really, you're not going to notice. It'll be fine. And also, just to make sure that it is pushed in far enough, I did fit that railing on there to make sure it's going to be on there fine, and it will. And of course there's that broken piece, but we'll attach that easily on there as well, and this piece will go around that. So yeah, all good. Just made sure it's on there, it's square, and it's going to get glued in just like that. But yeah, just be aware of that. You'll come across that problem. It's not going to fit in there. Okay. Alright, back again with a bit more progress. Okay, bit more progress. So I've got all the supports on underneath the platforms, including these larger ones here. They're all sitting in there, and they've gone on okay. Just got to be fairly accurate in your positioning. These ones here, what I've done is the platform, the final top of the mast will actually go, I'm just having a look, like that. Alright, and I'm fairly confident these are at the right angle, and that should sit down on top of there perfectly. That went on okay. Just got to be very delicate. They're very tiny, small pieces that can break easily, so just be careful when you're handling them. And I've used this glue for everything, because it dries slowly, so even when it's starting to dry, it'll hold it in position, and then you can still move it around, especially when you're putting on the next piece here that you want to sit onto there, because it's a lot easier to do this now than put that on top and then trying to work underneath it. Just getting in there would be just crazy. So I went ahead and I've positioned all of these on here, and if there is any gaps underneath where they need to be up against the bottom of the platform, then I know that I can just push them up a little bit and make them touch there, and then just put the touch of glue in there and they'll stay in place. Okay, alright, fantastic. I'll go ahead and get this on, and then we'll take a look at it. Alright, back in a second. Okay, so the top of the mast is on. Went alright, no problems. Just had to make sure it's all straight. I think this part here is not quite straight, but I'll get that looking fine. I'll sort that out. But other than that, the platforms are level, and it's all looking just perfect. So, and of course, doing the quick test fit of where it's going to be on the ship. And there it is. It lines up perfectly with the locating pins on the top deck there. So there we go. Excellent. Alright, now I've not finished yet. We've still got to do the top of this, which is the radar unit. Okay, so if I move that across, so all this, or actually let me sort things out here. I'll make a bit of space. I'll be back in a second. Alright, so everything on here is done. It's all been marked off except for this. Okay, so unfortunately lost a bit of audio there, having a bit of problems with the sound, sorry about that. So pretty much where I'm at now is we're going to start on that radar unit, as you can see that I'm pointing to there, and that's going to be quite technical because a lot of those parts are very small and this photo etch is really delicate, so again you've got to be really careful. So what I'll do is I'm going to get some of these parts off and ready and lay them all out and ready to go, but that will be in the next video. Okay, so in the next video we'll make a start on that, and we're pretty much getting close to the end of the build, and soon we're going to have to start thinking about putting some primer on and getting some paint on it. Okay, so anyway, thanks everybody for watching the video, and we'll look forward hopefully to part 6, which will be coming up next. Don't forget, hit the subscribe, give us a thumbs up, and don't forget we've got our Scalemodeling Hangouts in Facebook. You're welcome to come and join us there, and also along with that we've also got our live stream every weekend, so if you're subscribed you'll get a notification for that. Alright guys, thank you all, and I'll see you all in the next video. Alright, bye for now. Cheers.